Have you ever wanted to live in the US
I have a feeling it's going to be beautiful.
and you didn't know how to go about it or how hard it might be? This video is the perfect one because I will combine my experience from living in the US as an international intern and information I know about how you can apply. And by the end of this video, you will know how can you apply to the program, where and when do you go to submit an application, how difficult it actually could be to get an internship, because that would be the primary focus of this video. Although I will cover other options as well, such as not only internships, but what could you do if you don't have college or university education, or if you're currently in university, what are the different options that you could do. So let's start with the first point, which is why I'm actually creating this. Now, I think that there is a very big problem with people not being aware in the first place. And I think that the vast majority of people who wouldn't get these offers are actually the people who wouldn't apply in the first place. The second point is it worth it? And this I can touch on my experience here. I definitely see huge benefit to coming, especially if you're particularly excited to experience the culture. The main things are that you definitely grow more as a person. You learn a lot about a different sort of way of living. And I do think people here are different than people that I've met in the past in other countries. So that's kind of interesting. Another thing is it definitely boosts your career in the future because you'll have this exposure to a different country if you're an international student. So it's incredibly valuable overall. It's 1 year or 2 years of your life that are definitely going to be worth it and you're going to remember. So I definitely encourage you to give it a shot and actually try. And the third purpose of this video is for you to go and smash the like button, because this will help the YouTube algorithm recommend it to more people, and this will in turn make other people smash the like button, and the video will be recommended to everyone and everyone will know how to apply to the US, which is a rather good thing provided that there's not much awareness. Now, the second point is who can actually apply. This is probably one of the biggest questions, and the vast majority of countries on the globe are eligible to get the visa, and the visa is called J1. I'll touch more about the visa, but this is the visa that you're looking for if you want to come into the US and do any of these programs for a temporary period of time, which is maybe 1 year, 2 years, or less than that. The second point is if you're specifically applying for an internship or one of these two, which I'll cover later, you need to be currently a university student in any year. You could even be in your final year about to graduate, and you can do a program after your graduation, at least for the program that I'm doing, which is the Cisco International Internship Program, and I'm actually working with Cisco in Silicon Valley for a year. The next point is where and when do you apply? I'll attach these links in the description, but just to touch on this, you will go to this website and you will see all the different options that exist. And when you click on the internships option, you will see that there is a section about program sponsors or company sponsors, something like that. And when you click there, you will see all the companies that are working with this program and are actually offering these opportunities.
They've been so supportive, and it wasn't easy for them.
So then you can sort of see if you wanted to work for Intel, if you wanted to work for HP, if you wanted to work for a university or some maybe healthcare company, it doesn't matter. There's a lot of companies, I think maybe about 100, so it's still a limited number, but it's a good amount of options that you'll probably find something that interests you. Another point is that not every company that's supporting J1 visa is on the list. I think as far as I know, Google is sponsoring such visa, but they're not on the list. Cisco, the program that I'm doing, is not on the list. So if you're interested in a certain company and you know that you want to apply to them and they're a relatively large company that is maybe based in the US, you could just Google it and try to search and ask, because there is chance that the company that you might want to work for supports international visa, but I think most of them might be on the list if you look at it. The next point is how difficult is it to actually get an internship? And I think this is another concern for a lot of people. And I think as with anything in life, of course, things will be difficult. And of course, you'll need to work hard to get them, but as is the principle with everything, you just need to try and you need to like give your shot, because the worst thing that you can do is just assume that you're not eligible and that you're not good enough and just not apply in the first place. If you just submit an application, you're already ahead of the vast majority of people. Now the next point, which is again important, is what are the other options that you have? So there are two primary options other than the internship. You can study in a university, which a lot of people that I know, and this is probably the most popular J1 exchange program, where someone who studies in a certain university would go to another university in another country, where they would have a partnership established in most of the cases, and they would do like 1 semester or maybe 1 year abroad. The second thing is you can actually work in a university. So if you go to the same sort of list where you can do the internships, along with all the companies, you'll see a bunch of different universities that are also offering like a work program that you can come and work for them. Now, the third option I've just mentioned it just because I think it's good to know that if you're above the age of 14 or 15, something like that, so if you're like in high school or whatever it is in your country, you could also apply to come to the US. And I know few people who have done that from my country, and it's an amazing opportunity. You get basically everything paid for. You live and study in the US. So if you have like a cousin who's like 15 or something, or like you know someone who's like a bit younger, they could definitely leverage this opportunity because it's definitely amazing. And if I knew about this when I was 15, I would probably be like, okay, that's super exciting, and I would have thought about it. But I think as similarly like me, a lot of people actually don't know about this. So there you go. You can smash the like button. The next options that actually don't require education and could be good ways to earn some money on the side as well is you can be a babysitter. And as you can assume, this is primarily targeted towards women, but if you're a guy, I think it's also possible to be a babysitter. You just need to check. And of course you get paid, I think, or not, I'm not sure. Anyway, I don't want to confuse you, but it's a good program anyway. Like you probably get housing, you get your expenses covered, and I do think that you get paid. I'm almost sure you get paid. Then the summer work travel, you would basically come here with a company. You can work a lot of different jobs. Most of them I think are manual labor. So you can be maybe a cashier, you can be like work on a beach, like look after people. You can do like sales. I know one person who came into the US on a summer work travel, and he was sort of going from door to door and doing sales. So you can check out what options exist. And then counselor, as far as I understood, is something that is kind of like a supervisor for people who are doing summer work travel, or just supervisor for other international workers. So again, it's like a little bit more sophisticated in terms of like you need to take more responsibility, but other than that, it's like again, labor sort of job, I guess. Then the other important point is what happens if you actually get an offer. I think the most important thing to say is that you need to be prepared to file a lot of documents. Ideally, the companies that you're applying to or the universities, they'll have a very set list of processes, and they will send you that information. So it will be kind of straightforward. You'll have to fill in the documents, send them to a few places, and then go to the embassy, get your visa for the US, which is the J1 visa, as I already mentioned. And once you have the J1 visa and you have received it successfully, everything will be fine. So I guess just a quick point, the process is a little bit complicated, and it's a bit of documentation, especially for the work visa. So if you're doing an internship, it's the same visa, but if you're doing an internship, I think it's a little bit complicated. It's still very supported by your host, so the company that has you here, but I think it can go from very sort of simple and straightforward to kind of complicated, but it's not anything to worry too much about. So that's basically all I wanted to share in this video. I hope you find it useful. Subscribe if you want to see more videos that are useful related to career like this one. And I think the main thing that I want you to take away from this is that you should definitely try. If you want to live in the US, you should for sure give it a shot, because it's an amazing opportunity. I think you won't regret it. And at least if you're not going to live in the US, you could share it with someone so that they could benefit out of this video. Thank you everyone, and hope you have a good day. So I'll see you in the next one.